Hello, everybody. I hope you all are having a beautiful evening. Ignore any of the noises you might hear. I live around some cicadas or whatever they're called, and I guess this is the time of year where they're actually going crazy and going wild. So, over the course of time, the noise should go down. If it gets too bad, just let me know and I can cancel the stream and then I can restart as the sun starts to go down a little bit more. But I just want to spend a little time out there, talking to people and getting to know people and understanding things and answering some questions or learning some new things. Cigarettes are dangerous, you know what I mean? So I just want to give a disclaimer, but I do smoke them, so I don't want to send nobody off. But yeah, I just basically be trying to get to know people and understand where people at, connect with people, connect with like intellectual minds, and learn new things and teach things as well. If anybody ever got any questions for me, can ask me questions about anything. Predominantly, I talk to people about self care and taking care of oneself and making sure oneself is okay. So that way, when I do interact with the world or when others do interact with the world, they can begin to heal and understand why a lot of these things are happening. I tell people a lot of times it's best to be yourself because when you're yourself and you have your own law or your own code to live by, then you're not manipulated by everybody else around you. A lot of times people will come up to me and ask me certain questions or certain things, and most of the time I let them know I'm glad to give advice, but ultimately I'm just, just as much as I do. A lot of times we just don't know it yet, so to speak. So, I just want to get to talk to people and see where people's minds is at, and anything that I know can become yours, and anything you know can become mine. I just on this beautiful day, um, I was writing a lot of poetry. I might just do a little freestyle here and there on this stream while I'm here. I could think about Rick and Morty. I could say a great scientist and a little shorty. I could say a great elder who doesn't really want extorting, but he doesn't really want Morty out here sniffing and snorting. So he teaches them all this science and he teaches them all these things. But then ultimately Jessica is always to who he wants to sing. That's just instincts. I wouldn't say it really stinks. We all have some. If you add it up, it could become a beautiful sum. So, that's just some words right there. It's something I like to give off. I love writing poetry and I love writing stories. A buddy of mine named Dan was just telling me that they're coming out with this new system to where I guess these AI are able to write poetry and different stuff like that. And to me, that's beautiful. You know what I mean? To me, what's even more beautiful when they come out with animation to where the AI is able to create animation to a short story. So if I give it a script or a prompt that's really detailed, if that AI is able to make short stories or short films, then to me that would be really awesome because everybody then can make their own stories and they can make their own little videos and stuff. And you never know what's in each person's heart. I feel like a lot of times there would be a lot more great creations if we didn't just only make it for the elite and make it for the ones in certain areas in society. If each of us were able to tell our own story or be creative a little bit, then throughout time we would be able to experience more and have more fun. Something else I like to talk to a lot of people about, don't be so afraid, you know what I mean, in terms of religion. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of people teaching us a lot of things, and there's been a lot of people giving a lot of advice throughout life. But ultimately, remember, if it hurts you or causes you harm, like I see a lot of people that are afraid. I see a lot of people that don't really have a leg to stand on, you know what I mean? And so I try to be like a friend or a pillar. So if anybody's out there lost and hurting, they could come to me and kind of learn some new things. I got some videos about science. I got videos about all kind of stuff. Mainly, I'm a big gamer myself. I like to game. And so, that's why I really like mobile games because there's a lot of mobile games on the Play Store. And when you play mobile games, you can keep your mind occupied. You can basically go into a whole little world where you got your own thing. Now, of course, we still have what's real, you know what I mean? Jobs and society and whatever people are going to do. But ultimately, it's about enjoying oneself. That's why I really like cell phone technology. Cell phone technology is basically imagine in a world where a person would have had to sit somewhere for hours and hours or sit in a house or a room. Now, because of cell phones, people can basically live in a whole little inner world and not be plagued or bothered by the outside world. I see people connecting with people in their own little chats and creating streams and whatnot. That's beautiful, you know what I mean? It's a nice little space for people to connect and learn and meet new people. I'm still trying to grow MySpace. There was a website called MySpace a long time ago. I'm still trying to grow MySpace, but the thing about MySpace is it's not really like a club or anything like that, although it is. It's like for everybody, you know. I don't say if you're this and that and you're evil or none of that, you know what I mean? Everybody's got a pass. If you got a pass, it ain't for everybody to know a lot of times. And if they do know, if they want to make fun of you and accuse you, then let it go. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm seeing a lot of stuff in these religious chats that are even claiming Jesus to be king, man. And I'm telling you guys, they're not following none of the words that the dude even said. They're attacking people. They're not following none of the... So it's just interesting to me when somebody says they have a king, but don't follow what the king told them to do. It's just like a whirlwind of mania. And so that's why I tell each of y'all, it's I am who I am, and you all each possess your own heart. And that's the kingdom of God, really. Some men were bringing the kingdom of the heart, but the kingdom of God is I am who I am. Because ultimately from there, you branch out and you can do whatever you want as long as you don't break the law. People be like, what's the stone that was rejected of the law? It's really like the 10 Commandments. When you think of like the mountain and the burning bush and all that, that's your inner self. That's your fires that you send down to basically burn off everything else that's not supposed to be of who I am or who you are. And so, you know, I'm just trying to protect people and teach them of their own kingdoms and teach them that they don't have to bow to these afterlife. I'll give you guys a beautiful story. I was just talking to somebody about this last night. If you have the idea to where, look at this type of eternal life. You have a beautiful life and you have that lifespan. So then in the midst of that lifespan, if you live forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and never lost that knowledge, remember, you would I'm telling you, you'd probably go mad. This is just a prediction. So think about this. You live your life, you go, and then they say energy can't be destroyed. If the flesh really is just like a tool for us to use, then when we go, as we go, we come back out crying in a new baby, and then basically there's no memory of your old life, so none of your old pain, none of your old... So then think of it like this, if it is like that. Every time a king creates an oppressive system or people that are so wise, want to be so powerful, let's say they're reborn back into life. Now they have to deal with all these oppressive governments that they created in a past life, and then it's a perfect system where we keep going over and over. There's no past memory, so there's no pain, and we don't know what happens when we die, so we don't have to plague ourselves with it. We just keep living and living and living, and then boop, we're going. All right, we're coming back in a baby or a new person and start all over again. It's like the perfect system, you know what I mean? But what do people do? They want to go create all this hellish hellfires and Hades and all this deadly stuff. That's why I keep trying to tell people, when it says scriptures like, don't fear somebody who can hurt the body, but those who could destroy it in hell. Because if you're trying to live your perfect life and people are all in your head and you're like, oh, this is the Lord and that's the Lord, I'm scared and I'm going to go to hell. If life is about a perfect life is where you don't worry about any of those things because you're alive. And so if you give power to death, you're then giving life to death. So then it's just about enjoying your perfect life. And if you think, but see, I'm not saying that that's what actually is. What I'm saying is, see how I just built up a perfect mindset to where I'm safe until I go. And then whether or not, even if I don't come back, I'm resting forever, so I don't have to think about all this pain and stuff. And if I do come back, reincarnation or coming as a new baby or something, then basically all that stuff that I feared was pointless. And I created a hell of torment for no reason. That's what I'm trying to tell people. When I have the keys to my own heart, I can create what's good for me. One person might hear reincarnation or being reborn again, and they might think utter foolishness and it's blah, blah, blah. That's for them. That's fine. Because the other thing could plague them. You see what I'm saying? So we all possess a special knowledge, and we are all special, and we all gotta... That's why I really like the idea of being able to have this new animation or AI create animation. We give it stories, and it creates like a story or an art or an animation. Like I could create a story of two brothers that love each other and fight in the world. So then there's this little animation that happens, how they fight the world. Maybe one of them's hurt, the second one comes back and avenge, but then ultimately there's a lesson learned. That's a nice little story, right? And then something can animate it, and then we have a cartoon to watch or a movie. You see what I'm saying? Everything is with the elites. And so all of our creativity gets stomped on. But once the world gets more technology, and I'm hearing, I guess the new AI can create a minute's worth of a video. That's pretty cool. Why be afraid of that? Because look, I hear artists, and Avalon was just talking about this in one of his videos. Artists were like, AI is gonna steal all of our stuff, and they're taking all these artists' work and woo. Everybody on the planet does that. Who created the alphabet? We use that. Who created all these different movies and stuff before us? We use those. Cowboys and entertainment and we all take. What's the difference from technology? We use technology for years to create CGI and cartoons and all type of stuff. Now technology is helping us again to create new forms of art, and it's bad. Was it bad when Cartoon Network was creating all this cartoons for us for our good? Was it bad when the medical institutions was using all this AI for science and technology? It's just fear. So if anybody ever wants to talk in my chats or ask me questions or bring up anything, I'm not here to like strike or hurt nobody. I just want to talk to people. I'm not going to be the type to be like, oh, you asked this question or you're bad. We got enough of that in the world. You know what I mean? I just want to learn and talk to people. Disclaimer, I smoke pot, but I don't advocate for people to go and smoke pot. Something I do. You know what I mean? So I see a lot in this day and age of I see a lot of people leaning toward chosen ones. That's pretty cool, you know what I mean? I like the sound of that, being a chosen one, but as long as it does turn into some cult one day, that's really what I tell people. You know, you don't want to create something where you're pushing other people out, and if you are pushing other people out, let it be people who are like violent, I guess, like, because nobody wants violence in their own home, and so why create it out there in the world? There's no point. So when I say that, I'm not talking about like movies and cartoons and stories and stuff. I'm talking about people who create actual cults and religions that trap people, and then kids are trapped, and the next generation's trapped, and then the next generation's trapped. I don't like that stuff. You see my shirt? I like Rick and Morty, science, psychology, philosophy. I like religion in the sense that I could create my own. Like I could create any type of story, and if I want 20 angels to come down right now and blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? My own little personal story. But I give you all the keys, all y'all to do that. They keep talking about Jesus is the king and he's the only I am. They don't even read Jesus. I promise you don't. It says the Lord God, there's no other God besides him. And if the name I am is the Lord God, then you apply that to you all. That means we're all the Most High. They want people to bow to their king so they can build churches. And then when they build churches, they'll be rich. That's what a lot of them are doing. I'm not saying getting money is... Like if all churches was healing people and giving loving words and allowing people to come in and being friendly to people, okay, do what you're going to do. But when y'all create churches and then go say, this is evil, that's evil, this evil, that is evil. Somebody in the chat earlier, they was talking about spreading the covenant. And then I was like, okay, the 10 Commandments, because y'all know that's the covenant. I don't know why people keep playing. And then people are like, no, the Lord Jesus is the covenant and all this stuff. And I'm like, what did Jesus teach? And they go read, taught the 10 Commandments. Don't stone the adulterer, but he was given the law. I'm telling you, people come afterwards and create foolishness with it and try to entangle people with their wisdom, and that's not a fun, fair thing to do. So, if anybody got questions about religion, if anybody got questions about science or any other type of thing, I also said in another one of my videos that I think I was saying black holes could be like alternate universes in the sense that, so where like, if you look at the Big Bang and how the universe is and how it's a vacuum, that's almost like how a black hole is. Shoot, I wish I grew. I got a buddy who grows a lot, but I don't get into it, I guess. I need to learn how. I want to learn how to grow stuff. In Illinois, it's legal to have 5 plants. So I think that's the law. I'd have to relook at it. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Once I started smoking weed, I'm not advocating for you all to kids or anything like that, no. But once I started smoking weed, my mind, it started to be different. I was like a lot angrier about a lot of stuff. I was letting a lot of old feelings harbor inside of me. I was hard letting things go. But then as I started smoking, you know, even physical pain, a lot of pains would go away. I'd be more happier. In a situation where I might have snapped and got mad, now I'm happy, giggling, and writing poetry, you know what I mean? And I'm not one of those that's like, oh, I'm a hippie now. No, it's not like that. I mean, I went through a little bit of paranoia at first, but I was just really seeing the paranoia. That's a good way to explain it. People say you get paranoid when you're high, but I think what's happening is when you get high, what's happening inside is coming up. And so you're seeing your own paranoias. You're seeing your own thoughts, your own feelings. That's a good way to see a lot of stuff. I tell people that all the time. I tell people you don't gotta, I'm not condemning what people do, but you don't gotta be taking psychedelics and doing all these hard drugs and stuff. That stuff affects the mind. I worked at psych care for years, and a lot of the people in that place were doing a lot of harder drugs, me their stories and their regrets. Some people did peyote, some people was doing acid and psychedelics, and I don't advocate for none of that stuff. It can mess the mind up. So me, I just smoke weed. I don't really see any negative side effects. I was reading studies about how they were testing marijuana back in the day with the military, and it's causing people to not want to fight no more. They was being lazy and relaxed. Not lazy, but it was taken away from that angry killer spirit. So they deemed it, they didn't like that. So goodbye. But they're starting to make it legal again. Thank you, my friend. Knockout. Oh, what up, Doc? What up, bro? I'm tripping. I didn't even recognize that was you at first, brother. I ain't heard from you in a little minute. It's good to see you. I've been keeping in touch with A, and talking to different people. I do gotta call him. He be doing his little barbecuing thing and all that. But yeah, it's good to see you. If you come out to where we at, I'm gonna make a little trip. My car in the shop right now. I gotta call him on Tuesday because Memorial Day is tomorrow. I forgot it was Memorial Day, so yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little barbecuing tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a beautiful summer so far. I've just been staying strong and trying to. You left a comment a while back talking about this whole. Everybody's looking for this like revolution or awakening. I've been seeing it, bro. Oh yeah, for sure. You already know, but I've been seeing it with people have been talking kind of weird on the internet. Just all this new weird religion that's coming out because it's really the same as the old stuff, but they like. Because I don't knock nobody whatever they got, but I'm seeing them. They changed it from like Jesus to Yeshua, which, that's just Joshua really, so they're mixing names. And then it changed to Yahweh, but then it's changed to Yahweh. So I'm trying to stay away from all this. It's getting confusing me. I can't keep up a lot of times, but yeah. Something else I just seen, the new Dragon Ball Z. I guess there was a Piccolo Orange that just came out, so I watched that movie. Gohan is, I guess, stronger than Goku now. So he got his new little form. So really the Saiyans just taking off, bro. That's how it be. That's Saiyans. First we had Tails, now we Ultra Instinct. You feel me? Nah, but yeah, I've just been enjoying life, enjoying the breeze, enjoying everything. Yeah, I admire Bruce Lee for that. Bruce Lee said that one time, spelling. He said that's why they call it spelling, because really once the words get in your ears, they're gonna cast a spell one way or another. That's why we each gotta have the strength to know what's right for us and know. Bro used to always say the Lord is my protector. A used to always say that all the time. The Lord is my protector. Because these other people out here, they'll do a number if we're not careful. But I'm gonna get back into playing the guitar too. I went to Dad's house recently and I picked his little guitar up. I got a video. Yeah. Oh, STG, I seen you had left a comment a while back about your pops or your grandpops. I'm so sorry to hear about that. I was working. I'm not gonna give any names of the facility, but I was working at a place where they had different people who got the Agent Orange poured on them, and they had cancer and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just sad, some of the stuff in history. That's why I feel like we should break these walls down. I say break the fourth wall. That way we can come together and start to learn and grow, and our next generation can be healed from a lot of stuff. Because when I read history and read of our past, technically our past, but it's sad. So that's why I like coming together and learning new words and new spells. Because you're welcome, my friend. I love all my family. Oh, the piano. That's another special one. I'm gonna tell you. Whenever I tried to play a little bit of my dad's keyboard, but that piano, it's just how the notes come together and stuff. It sounds so beautiful. Every once in a while nowadays, I'll listen to some classical guitar on YouTube, some piano and jazz. That's why I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I got this jazz over here playing. It's like really low though. Trying to create an atmosphere, but yeah, jazz, piano's real good. I want to get more into piano, but I'll probably get an electric piano in the future. And every once in a while, when I play some songs on the classical guitar, I might just come up with a little melody or something to keep the music going, keep the music alive. Because I had a buddy that commented on one of my videos a while back. His name was Yeah, John Coltrane. That's another good one. I was listening to this guy named Stanley and somebody else, but bruh, lately, don't get me wrong, I love I love rapping stuff. I even got a couple songs that I rapped in my it's called Yohanan Songs or something like that playlist. But I've been listening to a lot of the old guitarists. I'm talking like 40s and 50s and 60s, bro. I've been listening to there was this one lady I just found out about her. She's kind of not big but heavy set. She always wore a dress, and she played the guitar. And she played for stadiums of people. I was like, man, she doing it. A lot of these songs we listen to now, these rap songs, they were actually samples of our forefathers. They actually wrote a lot of good music. I've been listening to Prince too. The way Prince spent, he did a spin in them heels and then went all the way down. I was like, bruh, nah, dude is the truth. But I've been connecting with the ancestors lately, bro, because they seem to have a lot of sense. They, in a time where they was getting beat up in this country, they had a lot of sense. They were smart, educated. The man who really invented the light bulb was Thomas Edison or whoever he was did his thing, but he had that Russian man and the African American man who finished it and revolutionized it. So every human being has come together and do a lot of things. Like just like how y'all hear me talk about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, I tell y'all too, William Tyndale, that man, he sacrificed his soul so we could get the word. You know what I mean? That dude, the sacrifice he took, that shit hurt my soul, but. Everybody, we all come together and make humanity. We don't gotta let people tell us what to do or how to be. I listen to all types of music. I like anime. I like a lot of Japanese and Asian culture. I'm not a huge fan of raw fish. I'm still a fried catfish guy. My kids and mom love fried sushi. I do not understand that. Actually, my mom likes fried catfish too, but. You know me, I'm a fried catfish, ham hocks. You got the neck bones, and then you got the beans and rice. Man, let me quit playing. We just had meatloaf for dinner, but I'm over here talking about soul food. But there's some other stuff I want to talk about too, just some general information. Like I teach people or tell people, it don't got to be a huge book, but read some stuff, Go to Khan Academy, learn some stuff about physics and science and all that stuff. And that's why I had to stop talking about it. I started getting hungry myself. Sitting up here talking about all that soul food. My girl, I love my mom and my girl. But my girl got this thing, rightfully so. She's like, break away from your mama house. It's us now. Don't go tell your mama nothing. Don't be telling her our business. Don't go blah, blah, blah. But then you know how mama is. She like, oh, baby, come over for Thanksgiving. Come get a plate. Come do this and that. Come, woo. So, when my girl cook on Thanksgiving, she do her thing and it's good. But at first, throughout the years, I kept going to mama house to get a plate and bringing it back. Well, as my girl, she hate that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna look into that. So what is that? What is that? Actually. Oh yeah, Rick and Morty. The irony of Rick and Morty, I said I wasn't going to like that show when I first started watching. Because what I did was I was listening to a lot of news about Justin Roiland. And I was hearing some stuff that was upsetting me. I was like, man, he's a weirdo, man. He's judging him and stuff. And then once I started watching Rick and Morty, I fell in love with the show. And I kind of sympathize with Justin Roiland now. I mean, he's a guy. He's got to... You see, I broke down my barriers and got to know something and ended up liking it. That's what happens sometimes. Oh yeah, I'm gonna check that out then, cause John Core Books was just telling me, he was like, I should get more social media access. I'm on Facebook right now and YouTube, but I'm still trying to see what's out there. I was on I think it's called Twitch or something. It was a gaming site where you basically played the game and streamed it. But I wasn't too deep in it. But I'm going to check out Bigo or Bigo, however that's pronounced. I'm going to check it out. But this is what I want to tell you. I'm finna start putting all my poetry on my community tab. I put like 15 up. I got like 60 poems at the moment. So I'm going to put up more and more each day. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up an email address specifically for my social media like YouTube and Facebook and stuff. And if anybody ever wants like a short story or a poem, if it's small, I'm not going to be charging and stuff like that. But if you want like a poem or a decent story, I might charge like $5 for a poem. Something simple. because I'm not a capitalist. I'm not trying to be rich or nothing like that. And a lot of stuff I do, like, if you guys ever see me dealing with the Ten Commandments and I am and all that and the spiritual talk, that's not for sale. I'm doing that for free for everybody. I'm preaching, I'm going back to the word and doing what I have to do to save people's souls. But when it comes to my poetry, like if I rap something or stuff like that, I like little stuff here, $5, $10 for personal poems, or and like if somebody comes to me like, man, my girl want a poem for this Valentine's Day and I just don't know the deep words to get. Okay, I might, because that's private. I'm not gonna put it on my page, so I might write it for you for like $5 or something like that, something small. But if you're like, hey, I want a 2-page story and woo, I might charge $10 or $15 for something like that, just something to help. All right, bet, do that knockout, and then I could get that started. I've been trying to branch out throughout the world. I wanted to start printing out the Ten Commandments and handing it to people, but they probably just gonna call me a Jehovah's Witness, so I'm gonna just keep giving it like wine on social media. I don't want nobody thinking I'm like some type of I don't want to say dude's name because it's really the Church of Jones. I don't want no situation like that. If you know who I'm talking about, the guy who the Kool-Aid and all that, because there's some people out here that do strange things, and I don't want no part of that. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. It looked like it's finna rain. I'm hoping it don't rain tomorrow because I'm supposed to be cooking out for my family for Memorial Day. So I'm gonna try to get the burgers on the grill, season them up, put some butter on them bad boys. I make garlic butter burgers. What I do is, actually I could do that too. I think tomorrow when I'm cooking and grilling, I'm gonna go live, and then I'm going to just do a little segment about grilling, how to stack coals, something basic for anybody that wants to learn how to cook. Cause it reminds me, you could teach a man you could bring a man fish, but if you teach him how to fish, then, you know, and if you, my kid's mom, dad, their grandpa on their mom's side, he taught me how to barbecue. I used to work for him doing drywall, and I stayed with them for a while, and he would go out and go fishing every once in a while. He would bring home a bunch of fish and fillet them. Then he would make this beer batter, and he would cut up potatoes and cut up onions. He would put the batter on the onions and leave the potatoes as is and season them. We would do fish fries in the backyard and on the side of the trailer. And what we did was he would have the music out there. In most part, it'd be country or some blues or something. We'd have a bonfire. And that's really what life is about, just enjoying life. To me, life is about many things, you know what I mean? But I believe it's the simple things. That's why I do like a nice hard day work. I wish life was set up to where work was everywhere and you just went in and put in your work and got your money. That would be so much better. I understand payroll and all this tax and all this other stuff, but it seems to complicate life for people that don't want a complicated life like that. Like, I've always admired people who are in the economics and stock markets and all that. That's an aspect of intellect. But I feel like a lot of times it's a trap. And I don't want to curse people and say it's like bad, but I feel like it's more complicated than I want to deal with in terms of financials. I hear a lot of people talking about if you want to get rich, you want to do this and that. I feel like I'm afraid to get rich because they even say if you get $8,000, you have to report it to the government. And I think if you make so much, then you got to start paying taxes. So it's just like a whole system. And if you pay attention to what happened to Wesley Snipes and a lot of other these artists and people who don't really know the legal systems and codes, because we're just living life, we're not lawyers. They have to deal with tax. They have to deal with tax evasion and all these tax laws, and a lot of times they go to prison because of it, because they didn't understand the legal system. And that's what I try to get people to understand. You know, they try to put us on, they put a lot of people on stage. This don't got to do with black or white. It's all artists. You pay attention to what happened to TLC and a lot of these artists. They were robbed and then tore up, and then they didn't get paid for nothing that they did and were bankrupt afterwards. Yeah, see, the thing is, I'm originally I'm from Chicago. So when I was a kid, when I was younger, there was no going outside like that. I'll tell y'all a story. When I was younger, we was going to my auntie house. That sounds nice, North Carolina. My girl went to Tennessee recently, and I went years ago, like when I was younger. But Tennessee sounds really beautiful. I had a coworker that just went there, and it sounds really nice. So I've never been to North Carolina, but it sounds lovely. But I'm from Chicago, so I'm not from the part of Chicago where you go to the pier and the Cub Stadium, all that. I'm from originally out Gale Gardens, and it was violent back in the day. One time we went to my auntie house. We was walking at nighttime, and a man ran past us and said, "Get down, get down, get down." So I was looking around. My mama grabbed me and she's like, "Get down." I felt her jerk me, and next thing you know, all I heard was scared the living daylights out of me. So my first drive-by experiencing that was like at 3, 4 years old. I had to be younger than 4 because it was about 3. So then we moved into the like Bloomington area, and we was in these smaller cities and towns. But where I'm at right now, there are a lot of projects and areas and stuff, but you could like barbecue and stuff. But a lot of times I like Bloomington because they got like Miller Park in different areas, so you could like walk to the park. I miss Miller Park. You could walk to the park and do a lot of stuff. O'Neill Park, I miss all that. O'Neill Park, my biggest memories was we used to go to the pool and the basketball court, and it was only like $3 to get into O'Neill. So we would go jump off the diving boards and stuff. But every once in a while, when Mama had money or Dad, we would go to Fairview Park. And Fairview Park had these big slides. You go, and one of them shot straight down. And then they had the diving boards or whatever. It's just, life is so full of beautiful experiences, you know what I mean? And not everybody gets to experience this. I'm sorry for people who have harder lives. But anybody who feels like, if you feel like your life is too hard right now, if you really just give it time and keep being patient and building and trying, I promise you something's going to come of it. I promise you. And really, if you're having a hard time, if you really just look into the past and look at some of the beautiful memories you have, it'll strengthen you to help you be stronger. You know what I mean? So I miss O'Neill and Fairview and all that. Those were some good times. Well, really, I just miss being a kid. We lived in our you remember the little place we stayed at? The little green. the green, that's funny. Yeah. Those were good times. We used to go down to O'Neill and go to homie crib down the street, jump on the trampoline. You remember them times. But it would be good to see you again, Noda, because it's been years. We need to have some type of, now that we all grown, we need to get a pavilion or something and just all come together and blow back and kick it. And even those that don't smoke, just all just kick it and stuff. You know what I mean? I remember years ago when we was in Normal. I forgot the name of them apartments. It's about a cable company. And this is before I was smoking. And y'all had a whole bunch of weed on the paper. And then I think A or somebody was like, sorry. A or somebody was like, "Hey, let's play some spades." So you was twisting up on the paper. And I grabbed the paper, was like, we could keep score. And the weed fell all in the little carpet. Boy, I'll never forget that. Y'all was so mad. And I ain't even smoked yet, so I ain't even understand y'all pain. Yeah, you remember that? That was over by Petey and them crib. That was years ago, bro. And them was the days. We was young than the motherfucker back then. Some shorties. Now we grown as fuck. I'm finna be 40. I am too. I got about 5 more years. Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I like YouTube and different stuff like this, because we could all come together and get to know each other and learn and stuff. Me for the most part, I just want to come on here and meet people, understand people. My girl was born in 78. She 10 years older than I am. We make the perfect couple too. She keep me level-headed and grounded. Yeah, bro, you a year older than me. Well, the crazy part is when I first started this journey again, I was hearing a lot of people talk about like narcissists and leave everybody behind and go forward with what God is and all that stuff. But what's crazy? My girl is the one that kept me level-headed from going out there into Magic Land. Cause she an atheist in a sense. She don't mess with a lot of stuff. So a lot of times when I would come tell her stuff, she'd be like, stay on the ground. We don't do that stuff. Ooh. And looking back at it now, she really helped me stay level-headed, and I'm glad for her. If I would listen to the world, I could have lost her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. The blessings we really got, you know what I'm saying? The bigger picture of it all, Another disclaimer, If you children and stuff, don't smoke cigarettes because you see me doing it. But if you do, I'm not gonna condemn you. I don't want children smoking cigarettes. But yeah, I'm finna start watching more anime actually because everybody telling me about Hotel Tokyo. They saying it's a good series, and I got the sweater, so when I wear it out and about, people be like, "Hey, you seen that series, Hotel Tokyo?" And I got the dumb face. I'm like, I ain't even seen it yet, man. I don't even. Yeah, you know what's crazy about you saying that? When I was in my 20s, I used to always be like, man, I used to be like, man, I'm getting old, I'm getting old. Now that I'm in my 30s, my knees and my back, I try to walk down some stairs too many times and I can feel it. It's like, oof. And I haven't played basketball in years. I need to get back on somebody court and start hooping again. Remember the days we used to hoop at O'Neal back in the day? Them was the days. Ooh, them was the days back in the day. And I like how close the park and the school was to us, so we could just, as we got older, we used to ride the bikes down there. And then Ghost Town, can't forget about Ghost Town. That was fun as hell. All that stuff. But I'm finna I think I might start doing more games too. Start playing Street Fighter, not live, but I'm gonna start recording videos of me playing Street Fighter. I've been getting better at it. Yeah, you know what's crazy? My physical body might feel certain things, but on the inside, I still feel like that young soul. A young soul that knows a lot of information. I feel like in terms of information, I feel like the ancient, but in terms of like innocence, I feel like a little kid still, so to speak. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my 20s was pretty hard. I left the church at like 21 or 20. I met my girl. She's my kid's mom. I met her. We was together for like 4 or 5 years. It was really 7 years in terms of like whatever, but we was together. And then once I hit 30s, I'm with my girl now, and it's a lot more comfortable. I don't like itch and squirm or want to run the streets the way I used to. It's in my 20s, I couldn't sit still. I couldn't sit in the house. I had to be out there meeting up with everybody. I had to go to downtown all the time. You remember Show Me's and all them other. Oh, that's a blessing. You know what I mean? That is definitely a blessing. Yeah, that's far apart too. My older sister and my little brother. My older sister is I think 7 years older than me, and I'm 10 years older than my youngest brother. So they like 27. Damn, they like 20 some years apart. But yeah, it's a blessing having, children and having family, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to get away from family every once in a while, but that just makes you appreciate them a lot more when you come back to them. You know, sometimes I hear people talking about their family, and everybody got their own thing, so sometimes I hear people talking about their family, and they're like, I'll never forgive them again, or I'll never see them again, and they messed up. And if they hurt a person bad enough, I don't blame them. There's some things that people can't recover from, but if they choose not to, and I can't tell people what to do, but sometimes, it's a lot easier to get over a lot of pain. I have a cousin, a couple of them back in the day who really irritated my soul, and now that I'm older, when I spend time away from them and spend some time now with them, it's like, I don't care. They just... Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, that's a blessing. New beginnings, new blessings, new beginnings. That's why I tell people it's never too late. When I was younger, I had a lot of problems with various different things. And now that I'm an adult, I don't even think about that stuff no more. Especially after I smoked a little weed throughout the years. I don't remember a lot of my old negative memories. It's just gone. It's like a slate wiped clean. So that's why I tell people, if you ever feeling distressed, you feel like there ain't no way, there's somebody out there that want to be your friend, and there's somebody out there that's hoping that you succeed. You just, even if you can't find them, build yourself up until you find them. And then if you don't ever find nobody, you build yourself up till you strong enough. You know what I mean? I want to see a world where people aren't condemned no more. I want to see a world where we can start to, just like, even as much as I said about Jesus, people use him as an idol. I like the idea of not stoning women when they commit adultery and not hurting people on when you heal on the Sabbath. You know what I mean? That's a peace and love. That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I want. Peace and love. That's my heart. Sometimes I said before, I'll be in my imagination or think of something or be in my own little like world, and then I come back in tears, like because it was so either so beautiful or I come back and remember up. Still got a long way to go for the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So straight up, peace and love. You know what I mean? Because I don't need. I think my biggest problem is, I think the blessing is I've been given a bunch of wisdom, but I'm like a sloth. I think that's what they're called, sloths. So I'm like, I'm not lazy, but I'm very intellectual. You guys see how big my head is, and my mom and dad used to make me get educated, so it carried with me into adulthood. So I am too lazy to be violent and angry. I'm telling y'all, it's just somebody want to do something mean, and it's like, let me smoke this joint real quick. Y'all go, you know. Yeah, straight up, my boy. Oh, and that other stream, I was talking about how I was like, A is like Vegeta, I feel like Goku, and I wanted to say you was like Broly, because even in the new movies, Broly not bad. He just had his own way, and then he ended up being the strongest. I was like, no, do you like Broly, bro? We the three Saiyans, man, and we just came back to do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like what you saying, STG. When you think of like regrets, I think that's beautiful how you labeled that. Like we can learn from a lesson, and that's what wisdom is. I'll never be the wisest person in the world, and then even if I do have wisdom, the future me will be wiser than the old me, and so I'll never be the wisest because the one ahead of me will be wiser. If that makes sense, I'm wiser than my old self. And so, you know, a lot of times when situations happen, we try to learn from them, and then we can become a better person from it. There's a lot of mistakes I made, even when working in healthcare and psych care. You know, I was like SpongeBob when I first walked in these facilities. You got to do this, and yeah, I was walking around with towels and depends, and it's funny, you know what I mean, looking back at it. But over time, with the stress of I'm not calling it psychological abuse because a lot of times people don't know what they're doing, especially in psych care. They're hurt or lost or have ailments and stuff. So you know the struggles of dealing with your own consciousness and your own battles and strength, and still dealing with people who you're supposed to care for. Cause yeah, I was on it. I remember one time in the dining room, I was jumping around and grabbing trays and moving stuff around and cleaning tables. And when I think about my old self, I was like, oh my goodness. Well, I was on fire for CNA, being a CNA. But yeah, you know, we get into our groove over time. It's like when you first start a factory job, you're like, yeah, I'm the best employee. Then about after 5 years and 2 write-ups, you like, man, I'm sick of moving these boxes. You know what I mean? But it's about the journey, and I think that's what a real soldier is. I think that's what a real hero is. Somebody who's getting beat up by life, but instead of being that beat up person, they still rise and still do what's nice. Because if I went off of my old way and how people treated me all my life, I might be a mean person. But over time, you know, the voice of reason's coming down. The one who I'll call the righteous one. It's like, hey, be kind, be nice, be this, be that. And it's like, okay, JB, be that. So, yeah, exactly. I'm trying to be a living witness to let y'all know that no matter what, because I don't like speaking certain things into existence, but there were times when I was so depressed, so sad. I don't know what each individual person thinks in their mind, but I think some of us, me personally, there have been times I've been so hurt where I really was thinking in my mind some conniving stuff. Not like in terms of, because I can't go there. I don't think of like killing or shooting people and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest, if my mind starts to go there, the barriers get put up. Don't walk outside this castle. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Why would I want to hurt them in my mind? But there have been times, even curses, like I think like, oh, they're gonna go to hell, or oh, they're gonna pay for what they just did to me, or oh, they're, and it's like, no, let it go. Because there's times I spoke mean things and said some wild stuff out of my mouth, and If other people heard it, it's like, but thank goodness who I am forgives in the heart. And I don't have to testify to every single thing I've done. But at the same time, I try to give as much as a light as possible to y'all all, you're not condemned. Y'all are not damned. And if there is stuff that is too hard to deal with, there's other human beings out there who went through the same thing you did and are strong. I like to use Job sometimes as an example. I talk about removing consonants and vowels. If you take the vowel out of Job, you get JB. And that's what, to me, that's the living representation of what's happened to the covenant, or the Ten Commandments, or peace and love, the spirit of whatever exists. I feel like it's lost all of its friends and family to the storm. I feel like even in the dark, when it's trying to heal, a lot, even me, I'm not innocent of this. Don't do this or that, my child. Man, I do what I want. I'll smoke this. I'll do that. We all do it. We're guilty of it. But then what happens over time, over and over and over, it still comes back and helps us. Hey, I'm there for you. Hey, I'll never leave you or forsake you. That's the true Lord. I will never leave you. I will never condemn you, because the Lord trying with us all the time. And that's why I'm trying with other people, you know what I mean? Try to help. And that's right. You know what I'm saying? Um, like, that's a lot of people, like I tell people in my streams, so whatever somebody professes to you, that's what lives on the inside of them. Exactly. That's what lives on the inside of them. So even the idea of hell, I tell people, if they're gonna use hell, I will use it. I will use it in a way that doesn't trap somebody in an algorithm or a paradox. So all throughout, I kind of call it purgatory, because it's an eternal state of unrest. So what happens is you learn of hell, right? So then you do all this research on it. So now it's all up there, and it's all, you have your image of it, you have your parameters of it. If you mess up, you're gonna go there for, we know what we learned. So then what's really happening is people take their pain of that and profess it. Do this and this and this and this and this. That's not really, to me, hell is like, if I do something and I'm going through a situation, that's like the refinery. I'm learning from that situation. Some people, like, let's say a person, this is the ultimate strength, and why it says, like, when Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel was in the three brothers, and then they saw the Son of Man. Let's say people that are in war lose certain limbs, or people lose family members and stuff, or people lose whatever. The people that keep going and keep going and being strong, they're not, I'm not saying they're better than people who are weak, but that's the true people need to be looking at. Like, I can see 100 young people on camera talking, but I'm telling y'all, if y'all will listen to like some of these 60 and 70-year-old veterans, if y'all will listen to some of these 50 and 40 and 60-year-old people that have already gone through these things and understand, because there have been times I have had some of my people who I work with tell me about what the VA have told them and how they talk to them. Ooh, it makes me so mad. You can see my eyes twitching when I talk. It makes me mad because they turn them into killers, and then when they come back and want to live back in a peaceful society again, they treat them like a number and tell them, oh, you're going to have to wait until you have an illness, or oh, you have depression, nothing's wrong with you, or oh, why do y'all do that? Not y'all, I'm sorry. The certain people in medical institutions and people in power and corporations sometimes are mean to people at the bottom. So it's kind of like Tiny Tim and Scrooge, you know what I mean? It's really the idea of Scrooge enjoying his turkey and eating it too, while the poor man is starving and begging to feed his child, So that's why I say, as soon as we start to fix the inside, the niceness will come out, because a lot of times people are caught in a storm of terror and fear. There's a lot of different scriptures that say fear the Lord, which let me teach you guys about fear of the Lord. Let me just give my piece of my heart about fear of the Lord. So in talking about fear of the Lord, so I'll say, I am who I am. And then I am sitting here doing something, and maybe a nasty, disgusting thought comes to my mind. Now it's like, I rebuke thee, and if that's not enough, maybe I can start saying a poem. So now a nasty thought about a woman, like, go grab her, take her. I rebuke thee, why even stare? There's nothing wrong with that, but there's something else that I like to compare. How about what's in her heart, since she lusts after the flesh? Is that good enough after you're done with the rest? Will you just hit it and quit it, and then leave her in tears, and then complain and call her a bitch when she tells all of her peers? Perhaps I could just do something different and make her a friend. And then if we're compatible, we can live to the end. But then if not, if we're two different people, then we can go our way and enter back into the steeple. And so just different stuff like that. You see how that poem would just obliterated even whatever thought I was thinking about. Or Oh, I'm sick of this person. I hope they catch. Whoa, you hope they catch what? Understand your words. What if it was your family member who was struck by that bird? Or what if you were the stone that was hit by two rocks? What if you were the one with an ailment in your socks? What if you were the one that had to go to the doctor? Then you wouldn't like to see what they have to read on that proctor. Then it will be, please help me, where can I go? After already letting the anger and hatred from your lava flow. And so just little stuff like that, you know what I mean? We all have a beautiful story, and when we start to learn how to write it, I'm telling y'all, everybody that watch me, everybody out there in the world, we can write a beautiful story. And even if the world don't like it, we can read it and we can like it, and it could be for us. And if we see other people don't like it, that's my kingdom. That's for me. I dancing to my song. There's one song when I see a lot of people on religion, and I'm not trying to make fun of people on religion, but I think of George Michael's. That song was like, I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. Because really they basically hiding from their own passions and desires for some. Okay, so I'll say it's good to have a certain law. But if that law completely consumes me, that wasn't the fire that doesn't consume. It consumed me and made me a clone. And now I'm like a Smith in the Matrix, and I'm following other people's orders. And so, like I said, it's good to have, like, if somebody's a shepherd or a teacher or whatever, but don't let that shepherd teach you everything that he says is right. You have your own ideas and thoughts. Take from his plate what you need, because he's the one serving food. So that's like me. That's another thing I want to teach when I was younger. It's good to have children eat their dinner. But I see people sometimes standing over a kid like, you're going to eat this food, and shoving it down and then throwing it up. What are you doing? So if that child gets hungry enough, I bet she's going to say, I want something to eat. And then, okay, perhaps I make something. Because I'm not saying you got to bow to kids. But when I talk to people, sometimes a child doesn't. It's the same thing with pets. A pet don't know what you're saying. So I see people smack, pow, get off the table, and snapping and stuff. Sometimes I get upset and remove my cat off the table. But I'm not going to hit, like, same with kids. A child doesn't understand yet. A child doesn't know yet. And so a lot of times I'll see people saying, you know better, or you're going to do this and that. They don't know better. We're teaching them. We're giving them our spirit. And of course we have nice loving spirits, but if they only witness, you're going to do this, you're going to do, because I love my mom. But oh my goodness, my fear of my mom didn't leave until I was 30 years old. She was, it's, you know, that's good. I didn't do certain things because of it. I'm not going to sit on, my mom is one of my rocks. Don't want to disrespect the spirit, but you know, oh, thank you. You know, like I said, what's mine is yours. There's a song on All Dogs Go to Heaven. They told Charlie he could never come back, but he came back. You see what I mean? Others can condemn us, but we know not what waits at the end of our story. Yeah. But there's a song in All Dogs Go to Heaven called What's Yours Is Mine. What's mine is yours. Now, I'm not teaching people to go copyright and stuff. I'm just saying with my stuff, whatever I've offered freely, my poems, my videos and all that, I said that's cool. I said if people want like private stories or private poems, just I'm going to put an email on here in a couple days and we could talk about stuff. I could write certain things or whatever for like a small price. But the stuff I do with the freedom and the spirituality and stuff, that's free. That's a whole nother separate. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to get off here now. I've got, it's raining and I've been on here for a while. It looks like I've only got a little bit, 19% left. And I've actually got a text message. Cool. Oh, okay. I see you. So, all right. It's been good talking to y'all. And thank you so much for the interaction. And make sure you, if you like it, you know, you can like if you want. If you want to share, you can. I see when I watch some streamers, sometimes they'll be like and subscribe before the video starts. And it's like, how do I know if I like it or not? I might like it and you can say some crazy stuff and then I gotta like, I don't know. But no problem. No problem. I enjoy having the company and I enjoy seeing people, and much love, one love, you know what I'm saying? And stay blessed, and I hope you stay blessed, and I'm blessing everyone, and I'm giving love and peace and kindness, and I'm clarity, and stay love, everybody. See y'all later.